Bad news. It looks like Gennady Ggg Golovkin, newly signed to DAZN, will not be fighting Demetrius Andrade next. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, Gennady Golovkin, no max, I'm now. You know, he just signed with DAZN. I made a couple videos about it, explaining, you know, he's doing a multi-fight deal, multi-year deal, and it took a long time, you know, a good amount of time. They said even as early as December of last year, we as fans and media were going to hear about his decision, and, you know, first week of March is when we truly heard about it, ahead of the Spence Garcia fight, which is a great fight. Triple G's with DAZN. DAZN got the bag, they got the money to spend, and the bad news is, you know, what I feared is that's great that DAZN is signing Triple G, and, you know, it makes sense because you look at the landscape of the middleweight division where Golovkin fights. You know, he no longer has the belt, but the talent pool is there, and a lot of the talent is already with DAZN, so I'm like, cool. You know, natural fit, makes sense. If he would have went to PBC, he would have to look towards, you know, JERMALL, CHARLO, and maybe guys coming up like Swift Jared Hurd, or guys at 168 or something like that, like maybe like a Chris Eubank or something. But with DAZN, there's ready-made money fights and big fights that he can partake in. Now, the reason why I say this is what I feared is because, you know, the rumors suggest that Golovkin was going to come back after the Canelo loss and take one fight in June, and then they're gonna try to stage a Canelo versus Triple G 3. My personal honest opinion, I don't even really fancy a Canelo Triple G 3. I think I know what happens there. You know, that doesn't really move me. Like, I would be more personally interested in seeing Canelo versus Jacobs, which is a thing. I'm more personally interested in like Triple G versus Demetrius Andrade, Boo Boo, or Triple G versus JERMALL, CHARLO. Like, those fights, they do more for me, you know. The Canelo Triple G, it's, you know, it is what it is, you know. But I don't think it happens. It needs to happen, to be honest, you know, or at least this year, especially with Canelo saying he wants to unify. Canelo said he wanted to unify.
Really, I won this fight. I'm ready for this fight, and I believe I win this fight.
See, he said he believes he wins. Canelo, hey, one thing I like about Canelo, he's extremely, like, calm for his age and, you know, big events. Like, even the Floyd Mayweather fight, that's one thing I noticed. It was like, damn, he's only 23. This is a big, huge moment. And Canelo was acting like, you know, I was born ready. Like, he was just acting nonchalant about the whole shit.
I think he's not being surprised for me. You know, just I know he's a very good fighter. You know, it doesn't matter for me. I'm ready to fight. If he's doing, you know, if he wants to move a lot, I'm ready. If he wants to stay, like, want to be like close distance, I'm ready for close distance. I want like a real fight.
Now, see, what Golovkin just said, he says, if he wants to move a lot, I'm ready for that. he says if he wants a close distance fight, that's good too. I'm ready for that. But I don't think that was the case in the Canelo fight, because I think they expected him to move like the first fight, you know, try to be sweet on the ropes and, you know, moving, picking his shots. But he didn't, and he like walked you down for the first, you know, 8 rounds or whatever it was. So that statement doesn't hold true to me. You know, I want true fight. I want him to bring the fight to me.
Before the fight on September,
because he pretty much did that, and then Golovkin didn't really have any answers until maybe the 9th round or something like that. So it is what it is. You know, I get it. You know, there's probably some money there, but let me get to the topic of this video before we stray away too far. The reason why I'm almost positive that the Andrade fight is not going to happen is because Eddie Hearns just did a DAZN card, and he did interviews, and he's publicly said he reached out to JERMALL CHARLO to lure him in over with the rest of the middleweights. He says he's gonna send a $5 million offer to Gervonta Tank Davis. And one of the things he said also was that Golovkin is going to fight in June, maybe first or second week, and Demetrius Andrade might fight the winner of oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, y'all. He said that Andrade might fight the winner of Matt Zaleski and Gabe Rosado. And Andrade might actually fight on the Golovkin card. So, you know, that's bad news for boxing fans, because clearly if Andrade is fighting on the card against Rosado, Matt Zaleski winner, and defending his WBO title, then he clearly can't fight Golovkin, you know, on the same card on the same night. So, you know, my fear came true, and it looks like he's not going to fight that. So I'm anxious to see who DAZN plans on having Triple G fight in a comeback fight. I really want to know, because to go to DAZN, I would imagine he's not moving up to 168 right now. You know, there's just all this talent pool at 160, so it'd be kind of weird to move to 168 like his team has discussed possibly doing in the past. But beyond that, if you're not fighting Andrade, you clearly can't fight Canelo and Jacobs, 2 guys you already fought, but you can't fight them right now because they're fighting a month before you in May, Cinco de Mayo. Also, get your Box Fan Expo tickets from me. Helps the channel. I am an affiliate. Link in the description. So it's like, who is he gonna fight? You know, Gabe Rosado, you already beat him, but he's fighting Matt Zaleski. They're talking about Andrade fighting the winner of that. So I just feel like Golovkin, I have no idea who he's gonna fight. You know, he already beat Curtis Stevens, David Lemieux with Wonderboy, who is with that side, you know, DAZN. But at the same time, who wants to see that? You already beat Lemieux. Lemieux was struggling to make weight and put himself in the hospital on the Canelo fielding card because he couldn't make weight. So, you know, I thought David Lemieux was moving up. So it's going to be interesting. He already knocked out Vanes Martirosyan, and, you know, Vanes Martirosyan said on Twitter he's retiring.
12 rounds is a long time to survive in a space with only 4 corners. You can only run for so long. No porras.
No draw. Anyway, yeah, I really don't know who Golovkin's gonna fight if it's not gonna be Andrade. JERMALL CHARLO is with PBC, so I highly doubt that's the first fight for DAZN, you know. And beyond that is they'll probably have Golovkin fight in California, if I had to take an educated guess. That's where his fan base seems to be biggest. That's where he lives, and, you know, he lives in like Santa Monica or something, where he set up shop. And besides that, JERMALL CHARLO's fighting in Houston. You know, I got word from my peeps. So I don't know. I have no idea, you know. And it's, to me, it's sad, you know, that, you know, just the companies are putting out all this money, and that's great. That's great for boxing. Companies throwing out large wads of cash or whatever, and you see certain guys like Canelo, Jacobs, Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence, you know, Terrence Crawford. They're always, even Amir Khan, you got to add him on that list. They're always like I'm not saying Amir Khan beats everybody, but what I am saying is one thing you can't take from him is his cojones. Like, he will fight whoever, you know. Same thing with Broner, you know, and Pacquiao. You know, in the midst of fights like these that I just mentioned and the players involved in making them, you know, you still got people who I feel like the media put on a pedestal and said, this guy is the best, this guy is this guy is #1 pound for pound, this guy is better than all the last guys in the 25 years of boxing, or the last 25 years, you know, these statements. And then we don't get to see these jump up and crazy risks and stuff with, like, Mikey Garcia, where it's fight week, people. Mikey Garcia is taking a crazy risk. He's undefeated, and he's going in there with Errol Spence, who's a dog at 147, you know. But, you know, I just feel it. If I'm wrong, I get on here like I always do. I get on here. You know, people compared Golovkin to Marvin Hagler's record and stuff like that, and said he's going to beat Bernard Hopkins' record. And like I said, if I'm wrong, as a man, I'll get on here and say I'm wrong. But I just have a feeling it's not going to be one of the mainstay middleweights that we want to see Golovkin fight. We being, you know, Ego's Army and a lot of like the dedicated fans that I know, that I talk to, which is, my reach is pretty good. You know, we do good viewership and impressions consistently, you know, and I just have no idea, like, you know. So he's gonna get the bag, that's cool, and then he's going to probably fight a fight. And see, this is the thing, tune-ups happen, you know, okay, he's coming off a loss, but it's also, this is what I also blame the media for, because the media helps perpetuate and rate the fighters and say they're #1 pound for pound, but then they take it easy and baby certain fighters. You know, if you have the complexion for the protection. Here's an example. Golovkin, to this day, like Wilder said, to this day, he is continually telling people he beat Canelo. It was a robbery. He won. In his heart, he feels he won. So with that being considered, why would you need a step down? Why would you need to not fight a high-class, top-notch person? Again, I don't even know who he's going to fight. This is all speculative. But going off of my memory bank and knowing boxing and who's doing what, like, it doesn't, you can really do a process of elimination. He's clearly not fighting Canelo and Jacobs in June. That wouldn't be logistically possible because they're fighting May 4th, right? You know, what I know about, like, Charlo's fight being built, him and his brother are supposed to fight in June, but in at least one of them is going to fight in Houston on 2 separate cards from what I heard. You know, these types of things. So you just go through the process of elimination. Matt Zaleski's already fighting Rosado, you know, and you look at who he's beaten. You know, it's like, is he going to pull up a guy from 154 again, you know, to get this fight out of the way? But more importantly, you have people who said Golovkin won. He beat Canelo. He beat his ass, and Canelo's a cheat, and Oscar paid the judges, and this and that, right? This is the things that they say, right? They say that in the comment section. But if that's the case and he beat Canelo's ass, why is Canelo fighting against Jacobs in his next bout? You know what I'm saying? And I understand Canelo fought Fielding, but Canelo, he had another fight. Golovkin, he really could have came back by now. You know, he could have already had another fight, you know, but he chose not to. But you look at it, Mikey Garcia, he's taking a risk. Canelo and Jacobs and Errol Spence, these guys are all taking risks, you know. And then you have ESPN's list. They said Golovkin is 1 and Lomachenko's 2. Lomachenko's fighting Anthony Corolla, and we have yet to find out who Golovkin is going to fight. But, you know, in my honest opinion, I just don't see it being the names that we want, you know. Like, he fought Vanes Matarosen and stuff like that. So we'll see. But, and then on top of that, they reward, they being old media, they reward a fighter like, okay, you just take a tune-up, stay busy, stay safe, and then you get rewarded by immediately getting a Canelo shot. and never having to go through JERMALL CHARLO, who the WBC ordered you to fight. You know, not necessarily having to go through Demetrius Andrade, you know, who you are, I think he's ranked the #1 with the WBO or something like that. He's a former, actually he didn't have the WBO. But either way, you know, this is what I'm talking about. Black Murderers Road 2.0. You know, he could just peek his head in and fight, you know, Big Show if he wants. He could, you know, he could fight Triple H, just whoever. Guys that don't necessarily even have a chance. Stay safe and then, you know, get a Canelo fight. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. You know, Golovkin's a good fighter. He's claiming he won. So I hope, and we'll see. You know, they said they're going to announce this week. We will see. But I hope they make the right decision and pick someone. But it's not looking like Demetrius Andrade, because Eddie Hearn kind of spilled the beans on that one. You can't have Andrade fighting Rosado Zaleski winner on the undercard if he's fighting Andrade. You know, that statement wouldn't even make sense. So we'll see. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. Let me know who you want to see Golovkin fight next. You know, Derevyanchenko, he was supposed to fight him, but he gave up his belt to not fight him and to fight Vanes Martirosyan, and then after fight Canelo. So I just feel like Golovkin's due up for just a tough test. Like, you know, and that's the other thing is, if these promoters like look at it, what would hype somebody up like a fan? Just think, like, promoters need to think in the mind of fans. You look at the mind of a fan, the Canelo Jacobs winner fighting Golovkin, that's a rightful fight. So that's going to hype people up to want to see Canelo or Jacobs, whoever wins that one, get another big opportunity, like a, you know, a Triple G fight or whatever. But if Triple G fights, you know, Marty McFly, then that doesn't really hype up a rematch. So Canelo and Jacobs, I think the goal for DAZN is for the winner to fight Golovkin. But they're taking a huge risk, the two minorities, Canelo Alvarez and Daniel Jacobs, taking a huge risk and putting it all on the line against fellow once beaten fighters. Canelo has 1 loss on his record. Jacobs, now he has 2 losses. He lost to Triple G. I thought he won. That's why it's maybe 1 in my head. But and to Dimitri Perot. But you get it. You know, elite level, top rated champions, unification. Canelo Jacobs is all that. It's a dope fight. You know, so they're playing their part. So we'll see if Golovkin plays his part in his opponent selection. Because if that is the real aim for Canelo, if he wins, or Jacobs if he wins, to fight Triple G, and I think Canelo's the favorite, so I think they're thinking Canelo Triple G, then how is it that Golovkin, as a non-champion, doesn't have to at least climb up the ladder a little bit? Meanwhile, the champion Canelo has to fight a guy like Jacobs, who Triple G struggled with a bit. I was there. I thought Jacobs beat Triple G before Canelo fought him and beat him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just make it make sense. How is it that he can fight whoever and stay ready and stay sharp, and then get the big jackpot fight? But it doesn't work like that. And Canelo and Jacobs are fighting who they're fighting. You know, you look at when Jacobs lost, and we could do this all day. This is easy for me. This is easy work. Look at when Jacobs lost to Triple G. I thought he won, but the judges had him losing. All right, fine. What did he have to do before the Canelo fight came around? He had to fight undefeated. Okay, so Golovkin was undefeated. So Jacobs had to fight undefeated Golovkin and lose. Boom. So he gets knocked off the ladder. He loses his WBA regular belt. What did he do after that? He had to fight undefeated Luis Cuba Arias, beat him, who was ranked, and he dominated. You know, he was fighting a little bit off emotion, but, you know, he didn't lose many rounds, if anything. Then he fought Mad Zaleski, who Gabe Rosado was fighting, and they're saying Andrade might fight the winner, right? He's fighting Mad Zaleski, undefeated, who knocked out Hugo Centeno Jr., right? Who JERMALL CHARLO later fought after Zaleski had knocked him out. And then he fought the guy, Sergey Derevyanchenko, undefeated, former friend and stablemate, trained by the same trainer. That's Jacob's trainer, Andre Rozier, his uncle or whatever, trained Derevyanchenko as well. So that means he fought 4 undefeated fighters in a row, but then you take off Golovkin, because that's the fight that he lost and knocked him off the ladder. And guess what? He still fought 3 undefeated fighters in a row, all ranked guys. Now he's being blessed with a Canelo opportunity. Canelo's like, all right, this kid, this is a good fight for me. And he has a belt. Unification. Cool. So now we have this good fight. Triple G, on the other hand, I get it. He's a former champion. But for him, he loses to Canelo, disappears off of social media and stuff for probably about a year. I don't know when he became less frequent with his posts. Then he pops back up and like, hey guys, I'm with DAZN now, right? Cool. So if they put him in there with just someone that's a super light touch after he's claiming he won and he's claiming that he beat Canelo, then that's going to show you something. Why would you need a super light touch if you beat Canelo? Your confidence should be at an all-time high because you know that you were robbed. It's easier to get over those types of situations when you know you did nothing wrong and it was all the politics, So to me, it's going to be all eyes on Triple G. I can't wait to the day it's announced who they fight, but I think there is some pressure because you see on the screen right there, this was happening. Canelo's fighting a guy taller than him. Look, Canelo's nose goes up to his mouth like it's a guy at a deficit, and Canelo has a better resume than Golovkin. So it's like all these guys are taking opportunities and things like that, and they're taking these types of risks. People want to see Golovkin do the same thing. And the great thing about it, everybody wins. DAZN, you're paying him whatever you're paying him, and I heard they're giving him equity. That's great. That's their business. I don't really care about that. It's not my money. But you're doing this so from DAZN platform, you put a bigger fight on your network that people want to actually subscribe for. They don't just skip months and wait. Triple G's just fighting, King Hippo. I'll wait till he fights Jacob's Canelo winner, and then I'll get DAZN. So it helps DAZN. It justifies your purchase, the money you're giving Golovkin, and it builds anticipation for the fans because the Canelo Jacobs is a great middleweight fight. Great. So if Triple G plays his part and fights in a great middleweight comeback fight like Andrade, like CHARLO, then boom, now we're getting somewhere. The people you see on the screen with the winner of Triple G Andrade or Triple G versus CHARLO, something like that. Triple G Derevyanchenko, a guy he didn't fight. Even that would be cool, in my opinion. Now we're getting somewhere because now the middleweight division is really being shaped, but it doesn't really benefit anyone if certain fights aren't made. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys let me know who you think Triple G is gonna fight. But this man that you see on the screen, I was born ready, is representing out of Mexico, straight out of Mexico. He's fighting tough challenges. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He fought Cotto. He fought against Austin Trout when he's undefeated. He fought the crafty Edislandi Lara, who the loss that he had on his record or losses or whatever were very controversial at the time. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, it seems like a lot of times in boxing, the minority fighters, they have to keep doing more and more. Mikey Garcia has to jump up 2 weight classes, but nobody's asking Lomachenko to jump up 2 weight classes, and they started in the same division, Mikey Garcia and Lomachenko. Jacobs had to fight 4 undefeated fighters in a row to get Canelo, so if Triple G comes off of a loss and then he just fights somebody that people were not really interested in, and then he gets a Canelo fight if Canelo beats Jacob, vice versa, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand it, so I think it behooves everyone and it benefits everybody when the game is played the right way, the best versus the best, when at all possible. I get it, not every single fight is going to be this heroic gladiator battle, but I think the season is right now. You have so many fighters doing the right thing. Like, you know, even Dimitri Bivol, he's taking on pretty tough challenges given how many fights he has. He just fought Joe Smith Jr. Kovalev called him out. We'll see if they can put that together. You know, there's a lot of guys who are really doing it right, you know, so I'm trying to keep this trend up. That's what we trying to do on this side. Let me know what you guys think. Who would Triple G fight next? I really want to know your honest opinion. If you had $100,000 in your savings and checking, who would you bet that DAZN is going to put him in there with, you know, and this newfound deal? So I can't wait. I can't wait to see. I hope, you know, I have speculation, and, you know, I always do a little bit of forward thinking, which has served me well. My gut feeling and intuition has served me well, but I have a feeling that it's probably not going to be one of the most anticipated fights like a Canelo Jacobs, you know, but we will see, and I will update you whatever the case is. Let me know who you think Triple G's fighting. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.